Ghostly guys and gals, it's Ghost here, and welcome to part 7 of the story of my life. So, when we had just left off, I was leaving the hospital and I was in a really good place, and I wanted to pursue Japanese as, my college degree. So, junior year ended and it was pretty good. I was in a much better spot, so I was able to finish any schoolwork I had left. I mean, the school year was almost over anyway by the time I went to the hospital. So yeah, but I was able to finish any schoolwork I had left. You know, fine because I was in a much better place. I was more motivated and such. Anyway, so summer came around. Summer was good. I don't remember what I did that summer, but it was good. And then senior year came around, and all my classes were pretty easy, and everything was good, and I started applying for colleges, and I was applying to mostly out of state schools because like there's only one school, like one college in Louisiana that actually offers a Japanese degree. And I didn't even bother applying because it was like it's pretty competitive to get into that school, and also it's very expensive, so even if I got in, it would be like I might not be able to pay for it. So yeah. Um I ended up applying to like 7 schools. I think I applied to two in Louisiana, the University of New Orleans, which is the one I ended up going to, Loyola University of New Orleans, which is this is my sister's alma mater, and I went to applied to the University of Hawaii Manoa, which has the biggest Japanese language program in the country. So that was like my second choice. I'll tell you about my first choice in a bit. But I also applied to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, the University of Montana. Um, I think there was one more. Oh yeah, the University of Northern Colorado. I applied to those schools, and then I also applied to a seventh school, which was actually in Japan. I applied to the University of Hokkaido in Sapporo, Japan, and it was like they had like a program called the Modern Japanese Studies Program, and it was like you could go to Japan and study there 4 years and you get a Japanese degree, and it was pretty affordable, and you know it looked just amazing. It was like that was my top choice, and I was like, I want to do this so bad. And I applied, and everything was pretty good. I mean, the application process for the Hokkaido University was pretty. It was a lot more intense than the other colleges. Like I had to make 3 essays. I had to do an interview and stuff. I mean, I didn't have to go to Japan to do the interview. They just like we did a Skype interview, and yeah, and I was really hoping I was gonna be able to like get into Hokkaido, but then I ended up getting rejected. But then the pandemic happened, so maybe those were the best. There was also a thing with like, since Hokkaido University was a foreign school, like my mom had money saved in my college, but it was like she would be penalized because it wasn't an accredited American university; it was a Japanese university. So she wouldn't, and she also wouldn't get some tax break. So she was like, Ghost, I don't want you to go to this school. I don't think you should go. So even if I made it in and there was no pandemic and all this stuff, I probably still would have been able to go. So I feel like even though it's a cool thing that maybe I really wish I could have done, it's like it's one of those things in my life that I don't regret. There are a lot of things in my life I regret, but the Hokkaido thing not making it in is not really one of them. I am upset though that I was not able to go to any of the other out of state colleges because they were all too expensive. You know, like Montana and Alaska were close. Like they gave me some scholarships, and my mom had some money, of course, saved. But it was just like we were a few $1,000s off, and it just it couldn't work, and we just couldn't make it work. And yeah, so I mean, basically, my senior year was pretty cool. Like the pandemic did happen like midway through that, but my high school, like I have to give them props. They did a great job transitioning to like online work. Um, we just used like the portal that we always use for grades and stuff. There was some sort of like video classes thing that they could do, but they just didn't use it. But because we had to go online because of the pandemic, they started to use it, and it was just so seamless and like everything was fine. And I try like at least at the beginning of the pandemic, everything was fine. I was really annoyed. I was like, this is so stupid. Why is this happening? And I was upset, but I was like, I'll get through it. And I was still really hopeful. So, yeah, like I said, none of the out of state colleges I could afford, and the other college I applied to, in state Loyola, the one where my sister went to, it was like they didn't have a Japanese degree. I kind of was like, maybe I should go there, but it was like it was more expensive than UNO, University of New Orleans. So I was just like, neither of these schools have a Japanese degree. And I remember at the time UNO had like a study abroad program in Kyoto, and it was like a really it was a program I really was interested in. So I was like, UNO's cheaper, and like actually was I would have been able to go there for free. I got a full scholarship there, so yeah, so I, don't ask me how that happened with all the craziness and all the bad academics. Like I said, Louisiana is not necessarily the best state for education, so I probably was doing way better than a lot of students, and I had a good ACT score, so yeah, I mean, I don't know, but for some reason, I got a full scholarship to UNO, and you know, it just made more financial sense. It kind of made more academic sense just to go UNO, so I did. I decided I'm gonna go UNO. So I graduated high school, and I didn't go to my graduation or anything because I didn't want to go in the first place, even if it was just not the pandemic. But then, like, only students could go to the graduation, and then like parents and everybody else would just have like a Zoom link sent to them, and then see it via Zoom. And my mom was like, "Yeah, that's stupid. You don't have to go to the graduation if you don't want to." I was like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good, mom." So that was cool. I didn't have to go to my high school graduation. Some people would think, "Oh, I didn't get to go to my high school graduation. I'm sad." But me, I was happy. And I was also happy I didn't have to see those dudes at that school for like the last few months of school. That was awesome. Uh, so early pandemic was pretty great for me in some regards, anyway. Um, yes, I finished high school, decided to go to UNO, and my major was international studies with a concentration in East Asia. I signed up for all my classes. Everything was looking good. I signed up they didn't have a Japanese major, but they did have like a few Japanese classes you could take at UNO. So I signed up for my Japanese class, and everything was great. Um, and yeah, and things didn't really work out the way I wanted to. All that hope and positivity I had kind of came crashing down eventually. But before I get to that, I want to get into a very important development in that I actually got my first girlfriend at the end of 20, not the end of 2020, the end of my senior year. And it was like May of 2020. I had already been out of school for like a bit at that point, but so anyway, when the pandemic started, I started basically, I was 18 by that point, so I was legally old enough to have like Tinder and all those dating apps. So I downloaded them because I was like, oh, I'm 18. Like I downloaded them back, before the pandemic in January. When I turned 18, I was like, oh, use these apps because I want to find a girlfriend or whatever. And yeah, like during the pandemic, I was looking for girls and stuff, and I decided that like because I felt like I just wanted to maximize my chances of finding somebody I really liked. I basically decided to just look all over the world, and I downloaded like a international dating app sort of thing. And I met this really amazing girl from Russia on there. Her name was Anastasia, and she had a boyfriend, so that was kind of a bummer. She's very pretty, and we're still kind of friends to this day. But I kind of wanted to date her, but that never worked out. But um, we became friends though, and that was really nice. She was like a really good friend of mine for a while, and yeah, so I met her via these like international like dating app sort of things, and then I actually met my first girlfriend, and I didn't like match with her on the app. She had her Instagram, and I just remember like she was so beautiful, and she was just she was like breathtaking to me, and she also is from an area of Russia I think is I always was kind of interested in. She's from like the Russian Far East, like Vladivostok, if you know about that. That's like the basically Russia's big city out in East Asia. And I was like, whoa, like that's so cool, like that's such a cool place. I definitely want to talk to her. And this girl's name was Alina. So I found her Instagram. I hit her up. I was like, hey, my name is Ghost. I saw you on this dating app, and I'm interested maybe getting to know you, and maybe like we could, you know, have an international relationship and stuff. Yeah, and she was like, I was really happy because she responded. A lot of times, people on these apps like they won't respond. When you contact their Instagram or their social media or whatever. So she responded, and I was very happy. And we got to talking. We had a lot of stuff in common. She was so cool. She like was really interested in history and like that sort of thing. And I'm really like I'm a big history buff, so that I thought that was so cool. We had like similar humor. Like we love to watch similar like videos on YouTube and stuff. And she was just like really cool, and I really liked her. And so yeah. So she was kind of like when I first met her, she's like, so let's talk for 3 days and see if I like I fall in love with you or something like that. I was just like, okay, sure. You know, we talked for 3 days and we're vibing pretty good. And yeah, on like the third day, I was like, so what do you think? And she was like, yeah, I think you're really cool and I think you're handsome, and I'd really love to date you. And yeah, that's when I got my first girlfriend, and I was overjoyed. I was like so amazed that I could have a girlfriend who was as pretty as her and like amazing as her. And yeah, I was ecstatic. Things didn't exactly go too well though with her because she was very distant. Like, she was always saying that she was very busy and I'd want to talk to her, but she wouldn't be able to talk, a lot. And you got to remember, this is a long distance relationship, and you got to, talk a lot, because you can't meet up in person. And, she wouldn't even want to, like, well, it's not that she wouldn't want to, but it's like, I guess she said that she couldn't video time, like, FaceTime me. That's what I meant to say. FaceTime me, and that sort of thing. And yeah, so I was pretty bummed about that. And yeah, and like another thing was that was she was kind of like sketching me out because so obviously you got to be careful for scammers and all these sorts of things when you're looking at these international relationships and that sort of thing. But there's always bots, and you can find that on dating apps just domestically, but especially like international people, all sorts of scammers are all around and stuff. So like, and Alina was so pretty to me. I was like, man, she could be like some just catfish or something. I did reverse image searches on her pictures, and nothing came up. It wasn't like she was a model or something. She gave me her Instagram account, and that was like that looked legit, and it was connected to a bunch of other accounts. So it was like, and she she wasn't acting like a scammer. Like she wasn't asking me for money or asking for this or that or whatever. But yeah, so you know, uh, she seemed legit, but the thing was, I was like, okay, so Alina, now that we're together, like, could you prove to me that you're real? Like, I just want you to take a picture of me, or take a picture of yourself and have your name written on, or my name written on it. And I sent a picture of myself with her name on it, to prove I'm real. And she's like, oh yeah, I can do that. But then like she didn't do it for like forever. I mean, it wasn't forever. We only dated a month, but it was like a lot of days, like a week might have gone by or whatever. I was like, Alina, are you gonna send me the picture? Like, are you gonna prove to me that you're real? And my sister was like freaking out. She was like, dude, this girl's totally fake. She's not real. But eventually she did send the picture. I was like, oh, thank God. And yeah, so that was good. At least she was real. She was definitely real. Um, but she wasn't the best long distance girlfriend. She was she didn't keep up with the relationship as much as she should have. And yeah, eventually I kind of like after like a month of dating, I gave her like an ultimatum. I was just like, Alina, like what's going on? Like you need to. This is a for a long distance relationship. You have to put a lot of work in. And you can't just. Like we weren't even talking every day. Like it's one thing if maybe she every now and again like we at least say stuff to each other every day, but we weren't even talking every day. And Anastasia, she was in a long distance relationship too, and her boyfriend was from Japan, and she was telling me like, oh yeah, he's super busy, and I'm busy, and we always find time to talk to each other. And I was just like, yeah, you're right. And Anastasia was really like, yeah, this, you should, she should talk to you more. And I was like, so Alina, like, I really like want to continue this relationship with you, but you know, you need to give me more and stuff. And basically, I was like she was like ignoring me a lot. Like I would text her and stuff, and then she just would never respond to me. So I was just like, if you don't respond to this in like 3 days, I'm just gonna break up with you. I'm just gonna assume that you don't want to be with me anymore. And thankfully, it didn't come to that. It wasn't like she just completely ghosted me. She did eventually. Was like, you know, ghost. Like I like you, but I have all these things going on in my life, and you know, I'm just very busy. And I was like, well, I mean, Alina, like, I I want to continue this relationship with you, but I can't keep doing this if this is how you're gonna be. And she was just like, yeah, let's just break up. And yeah, we broke up. And I was bummed about it, but I guess it's just in all the long distance relationships I've had. I don't know. I was about to say, oh, it didn't hurt as much as the in person relationships I've had, but I feel like they've gotten more painful over time. Like I still miss Alina, and I still miss all my girlfriends that I've had, except for maybe one. But all the other girlfriends I've had, like I miss them, and I kind of wish, like, oh, I wish the relationship went better, or that we never broke up, or you know, all this stuff. So that was my first experience with the girlfriend, and yeah, it was pretty brief, and it didn't wasn't that great. I guess that's like what most people's first experience is like. I would assume. Yeah. But anyway, another development was so, I graduated high school and it was the summer before my college, the beginning of my college career. And my mom was like, you need to get a job, Ghost. You can't just sit around the house all day. And I was just like, oh, why? And basically, she forced me to get a job. And I didn't want to get a job. I didn't feel like it was necessary because I had a lot of money that was saved because my dad died, I had like some sort of supplemental social security income that I got for a few months once I turned 18. So I had like a good bit of money saved. I'm not gonna say how much, but I had a good bit saved. And I was like, I don't think this is necessary. I got money in my bank account, mom, and like that was also another reason why I was open to dating an international girl. Because I was like, I have got money to maybe travel someplace outside the country, you know, if I need to, or if I want to. And like I wasn't planning on seeing Alina anytime soon, but I was like, oh, maybe if we date like a year, I'll be like, okay, I'll go to Russia, or I'll make arrangements for you to come here. So yeah, I was like, I had money, and I was just like, why would I? I don't need like I also had like she gave me her car, like her old car, my mom's old car, but she got a new car, so then I got my mom's old car, so it was like I got a free car, so it wasn't like I needed to buy a new car or something. But she was just like, no, you're getting a job. And she forced me. And yeah. And anyway, I got my first job. And that was at Little Caesars. And that's a pizza place, if you don't know. And I only worked there one day. uh, I just was so anxious about it. And I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't do it. I was so scared of everything. And I quit the next day, and my mom was super mad, and like she took away my phone and all these things for like a few weeks or something until I got another job. And you know I did get another job and it was a lot more tolerable, but that whole Little Caesars incident is very indicative of stuff that will happen in the future in regards to me and work. Anyway, so I got a job at a grocery store, Winn Dixie specifically, which is like I think a regional chain in the South and stuff, but they might have them other places. But anyway, I got a job there, and I was like, I didn't want to be a cashier because I was like so scared of talking to people and like dealing with people and stuff. I was really scared of that, so I was like, I don't want to be a cashier. So then I wanted to be like either like a stalker, stocking the shelves, or something else. And basically, the lady is like, well, you can clean the parking lot, of the shopping carts and that sort of thing. And I was just like, okay, at least I wanted to deal with people. And I did, and it was kind of a physically demanding job. It was the summer in Louisiana, so it was really hot, and I was out there all the time, and we had to be outside if it rained and stuff, and my feet were hurting because I was walking a bunch. I like walked like 25,000 steps in a day and stuff. And yeah, I didn't like being there, but it was just for the summer, and I just was like, I'll quit once school starts, and yeah. So I was able to get through it. I only worked there for like a month or two, and my mom was happy, you know. Uh, yeah, and then was when I started college, and that did not go anywhere near as good as I was hoping it was going to go. In fact, it was so bad I probably wouldn't have even thought that it was going to happen this way, like in my worst nightmares. So yeah, we'll get into that fun story in the next video. Anyway, I hope you guys all will like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.